Well, on that note, our next presenter is speaking about her very nerdy, very cool passion, a cappella. Can we please have a huge round of applause for Bernadette?
Okay, so like I said, I'm here to talk about a cappella, and I'm doing that because a cappella was a really huge part of my life. I've been singing for 11 years in groups, and 6 of those years I spent only in a cappella. What does it mean? In Italian, it translates roughly to in the chapel style, and that basically means you only use your voices, no instruments. So why should you do it? If you love the spotlight, if you love having people look at you, then this is the thing to do. It's a great cure for stage fright because there are other people with you even though you're still exposed. It's a really good escape. In order to perform properly, you have to completely forget everything else, all your drama, just be in the moment. And if you love music, it's just really good. So who does a cappella? There are tons of professional groups, the most famous being Rockapella. They did all the music for the kids' TV show, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? One of my favorites. There are a lot of amateur groups. For example, in college, that's what my experience was. And then famous people. Boyz II Men does a lot of a cappella. Sarah Bareilles did it at UCLA, and John Legend did it at UPenn. Where can you do it? Basically, anywhere there's a stage, you can do it. There was a TV show called The Sing-Off. It was canceled, but it was a good competition, a lot of good groups. Digital venues, everybody goes on YouTube, puts up their videos, you can do CDs. But basically the beautiful thing is that anywhere you have your voice, which is anywhere, you can do it. So what do you need? You need to want to be in the limelight, easy. You need to love music, but most importantly, you need to want to make a fool of yourself. I have never felt so awkward as the time I had to perform I Touch Myself in front of my parents. But it happens and you have to own it. Otherwise, you look even worse. So if you want to do an a cappella group, you need to pick a genre. It can be anything. It can be pop, R&B, metal. I've seen that. And then you need parts. You've got soprano and alto as your basic parts for the girls, tenor and bass, basic parts for the guys. And then you have a couple extras and a vocal percussion, basically a beatboxer. We call it VP or perk if you're from the East Coast of the United States. Basic sounds. I'm not good. I don't pretend to be good, but I have had to do it. Your basic sounds in timing of 4, it goes like, and then you just add stuff. You keep going. You know, just basically all you have to do is practice. Easy place to do it is in the car because nobody can judge you. Directors, music director, most important person. You blow the pitch, you set the tone, you do interpretation, everything. It falls on the director. Choreographer, I know we have a presenter coming up on that, so I won't pretend to know anything about it. And then business manager takes care of your gigs, your money, everything logistical. Now you need a name. A cappella has a really good tradition of being really punny. So you've got Noteworthy, Vocal Point, Rockapella, the famous one. My first group was called Mockapella. My biggest group was called Artists in Resonance, also known as AIR, and they will always have a special place in my heart. Time. Time is one of the biggest things that you need to do in an a cappella group. Rehearsals. You can do it weekly, you can do it monthly. It's basically what you put in is what you will get out of it. You also have to factor in Hell Week right before you do a performance. Everybody gets stressed, everybody hates each other, and then you actually have to perform. So what do you do during rehearsal? You have to have the music. These are called arrangements. It comes with basically 2 parts. You have a solo line, and then you have the background lines, which are also called backs. You do need people who will read this music, although even if not everybody reads music, some people can learn by listening. And in order to make these arrangements, you need either a computer program or just a lot of patience to write it by hand. Nobody does that. So how I arrange is line by line. I put the solo line in first so that I always know what part of the song I'm at. I do the bass line then in order to get the chord progression proper. Then I do all the other lines and any comp lines, so counter melodies. And then I put in syllables, because you have to have the syllables, otherwise you waste a ton of rehearsal time trying to figure out what people should sing. Vocal technique, that's very important. That's a lot of what the music director does. You have to be able to open your mouth properly, which not only changes your projection, but also your vowel. And it's a lot easier to match a vowel and have it sound like one person, if everybody's doing that. Projection, you have to go from your diaphragm and you have to warm up, otherwise you blow out your voice. Choreography, it can be as minimal or as elaborate as you want. First, you start with a formation. Basic formation is a U that makes you able to hear each other. Then you can do a basic step. You just do that for slow songs, really easy. And then, or you can do what, that was It's Raining Men. As long as you own it, it'll be good. What do you need? You need a pitch pipe, and that actually becomes a big part of you as a director. I'm very, very attached to my pitch pipe. You need microphones, speakers and monitors if you're lucky, lights, which are burning me up right now, programs, and personnel, mainly ushers and ticket people. Really easy, just get your friends to do it. Uniforms. This can be very divisive, especially if there are fashion-conscious people in your group. Some people, I really prefer a formal matching uniform, but you can also have matching t-shirts, or you can just go with a color scheme or like a style, like hipster, you know, whatever. Just, that's your uniform, and people will start to recognize you by that. Now you need a place to sing, so you have to think about staging. You know, is there actually enough room for you to stand? Acoustics, if you're singing to a dead, like acoustic, just sound, eating room, it's horrible. You might need to make reservations, and if you're singing in public, make sure you get a permit if needed, because it sucks to get kicked off mid-song. And then publicity, Facebook, all that good stuff. So what sucks about it? You will get really tired of songs, especially when you compete. You're performing the same 3 songs over and over again. You have to fundraise. You have to do skits if your group does that, and I hate skits. I really do. And I mean, it eats a whole bunch of your time. But what's good about it? You can basically make music wherever you go. And that's, I mean, there's no words for that. You broaden your musical horizon a lot. A lot of the music I listen to now, I never would have listened to. It gives you a deep appreciation for stuff that you wouldn't have listened to before. I actually like a couple country songs now, which never would have happened. And for the guys, for all guy groups, you get chicks. You get tons of chicks. Also, you make really close friends. I mean, I went to Berkeley. It was a really large and personal school, and a good deal of the friends that I still keep in touch with I made through a cappella. It gives you confidence. When I first started, I was going through a massive breakup, and a cappella forced me to get up on stage, get in front of people, and just act like I deserved it. And if you can do all that, if you can commit and put in the time and effort, then you will have an absolute blast. And that's it.
I'm glad someone likes the spotlight here. Yes. Can you sing something? Woo! Can you sing I Touch Myself? I think we're at Pontoon. Do we have any backup singers here?
Okay, so whenever I told people, oh, I'm going to be doing Nerd Night on a cappella, they were all like, are you going to sing? The problem with that is that, I mean, if you're singing by yourself, it's not really a cappella, it's like karaoke without a soundtrack, which is not really the biggest thing to do. I can sing I Touch Myself if you want. I'd really rather not.
Do we want it? Yeah. There's an app for the pipe?
I have a pitch pipe on my phone, I know. I usually prefer the blowy kind, but... I love myself. I want you to love me. When I feel down, I want you above me. I search myself. I want you to find me. I forget myself. I want you to remind me. I don't want anybody else. When I think about you, I touch myself. Oh, I don't want anybody else. Oh no, oh no, oh no.
We got some talented nerds here. Can we start a nerd cappella group?
If you
How many people do you need in an a cappella group?
It can be as small as you want, like Rockapella, the most famous group, it has 5 people. My group went up to 15, which just logistically becomes a pain because it's really hard to get people in and like at retreat at the same times and rehearsals. But I mean, basically as big or as small as you want it. You probably shouldn't go smaller than 4, I think. Especially if you want vocal percussion, you shouldn't go smaller than 4 or 5. And if anybody could not tell my mom that I just did that, that would be...
We have it on video. You can send her a YouTube link.
I'd really rather not.
How is this different from choruses that sing without instrumentation?
How is this different from choruses and other groups without instrumentation?
I mean, like established groups, they sing a cappella, but a lot of choruses, like I was in like a lot of choirs before I did a cappella. They sing a cappella half the time, but most of the time they actually do sing with at least a piano, some kind of instrumentation, and to be just an a cappella group, you just never have anything.
Are there any existent in Phnom Penh right now?
I haven't heard of anything.
Does anyone know of any a cappella groups in Phnom Penh? Anyone interested in starting one?
Yeah.
We only need 4 other people.
No, I hear like in Washington D.C. there are so many like summer interns that they do have like an established like intern group. It's only for guys, which pisses me off, but I haven't been to Washington, so it doesn't really affect me. But no, it's a thing, and it's a good way to meet people and just bond over something really fun.
How come chicks don't get guys being in a cappella? That might be helpful for Phnom Penh, yeah?
Chick groups have a reputation of being really catty, because when you get like,
Really?
yeah, I know, right? That's weird. Because when you get chicks who love the spotlight, and then they're all trying to be diva on you, and like, I wanted that solo, that pitch. You know, it's not quite the same, but I don't know. Girls just tend to flock toward the guy groups, which is fine. You know, guilty.
Question? Yes.
Are you a music teacher?
No, I'm not. But I was director, so I did have to actually teach basic. Like I'm not like music theory was always one of my harder subjects, but like basics are fine for me. But no.
Any more questions from the audience? She'll be taking signatures off stage. Thank you very much, Bernadette.